So, what do we have for today? We've got Trump saying to the EU, the G7, pretty much, that he's the boss. Admittedly, he did say that in jest, but it's the kind of thing that you pretty much expect from Trump, and they probably actually meant it. Enough said. Also, we've got Starmer, who's in a by-election battle for his life, really, not him personally with the battle in the by-election, but there's a by-election, as you know, as probably the world knows, about this tiny little farty little town in the north of England, I think, whose name I completely forget, but there's a by-election there. We've got Andy Burnham, King of the North, and we've got Reform, we've got Restore. I think we've probably got an awful lot of others that are going to throw their sort of name into the ring, and that finishes this week. And the big story is that if Andy Burnham gets in, and Andy Burnham will get in, he's then going to challenge Keir Starmer for the Prime Minister's role. And the crazy thing about Starmer, how I don't know what goes on in his head. I don't think anyone knows what goes on in his head. Is that he's said that there's a place for Burnham in the cabinet. What? Burnham doesn't want the cabinet. He wants the whole bloody thing. He wants your job, Starmer. We want him to have your job. Not that he's going to be particularly any better at it, because let's get a few things straight with Burnham. He's this kind of supposed sort of king of the north figure, where people are saying, he's the new messiah, he's done this. These are amazing, wonderful things for Manchester. He's done some good things for Manchester. The main thing that he's done for Manchester is basically new buses. That's the biggest thing he's done for Manchester. He's also given an awful lot of money to developer friends. Let's put that in those developer friends. An awful lot of money to developer friends. And we're not talking just, a few 100,000. We're talking tens and tens of millions. And this is government money that is been given to these contractors and these developers to build things. I can't remember exactly what it was, but needless to say, these contracts should have gone to bid, and they didn't. They went to friends. So, yeah, Burnham's just another. He's kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing, or a wolf in a prime minister's clothing, as it were. I don't have particular high hopes. He will very likely become our next prime minister, even though we didn't vote for him. Once again, it's like a merry-go-round of prime ministers that we have in this country every fucking year. Every bloody year we get it. It's just like, we've got a new prime minister, and he's gone. He's gone. We've got a new prime minister, and we didn't vote for this one. No, I know, before anyone gets in the comments, we don't technically vote for the prime minister. We're voting for our local candidate MP. I get that, but for the sake of this argument, we do, and some people, an awful lot of people, still believe that we actually are voting for the PM. And technically, kind of we are, because if the Prime Minister is useless, no matter how good our local MP is going to be, we're not going to put up with somebody that's a bit crap. Having said that, a lot of people, well, quite a few people that bothered to turn out, did vote Labour, did vote for Starmer, and now they're surprised that he's a bit crap. Just a robot. Everyone knew this. Everyone knew he'd be useless. Everyone knew he would lie. And there's good reason why they call it LIBOR, not Labour. As they borrow, they borrow, they borrow, they turn their backs on all their policies that they claim to have had and give in to the unions and give billions of pounds to the unions. As ever, every time. But yeah, we're not going to see Labour again for a good while, I think. Will Andy Burnham rescue Labour? Don't know. I don't know. I really don't care. I've got so little respect for Labour. In fact, I've got so little respect for most of the parties now that I don't believe any of them are really going to be able to sort of turn things around. And I think that's pretty much prominent, not just in the UK, but within other European countries, within the USA, just every, the Americas, Asia, Australia. We just see it all the time in every aspect that, we like to think these people are brought in and they're there to represent us, but really they're just there to fill their pockets. No matter how you look at it, they're always looking at a way as to how they can make a few quid. Now, admittedly, Trump is the king of this. He's just the biggest, most brazen of the lot. And what we forget is, we see Trump and we just go, dear God, this man's got no shame. He's just openly doing all this and filling his pockets with billions and billions of dollars. Whereas the rest of the world, we sort of like to assume that doesn't go on, but it does go on. No matter how democratic or how sort of civil your country is or your government is, they're doing it. We see it all the time. We saw it in Scotland with the Sturgeons. Could be a sitcom, that, couldn't it? Is that a camper van in your drive, dear? No camper van. No, didn't buy that with any government money. With no money. Nothing to see here. What camper van? I don't see a camper van. You see nothing, Nicola. You see nothing. Oh, you're right, dear. In a Scottish accent. So yeah, so that's, we've got Burnham with that. And then we've got, so that whole sort of by-elections coming up, which is interesting. Reform were kind of expected to really make a blazing trail with that, and I think they've kind of dropped the ball a little bit. The guy they have is nice enough, whose name I completely forget already, and he's a plumber. I wonder where they got that idea. Green Party, yes. And he's being criticised, because he's maybe not hard enough. But then you look at the girl that won for the Green Party in whatever town. And she's a nice girl, but she's a bit bonkers with all the sort of greenish policies, none of which have bugger all to do with the environment, of course, because the Greens have absolutely nothing to do with the environment anymore. Yeah. Anyway, and finally, I suppose the last bit of interesting news is that the couple that were fired upon by the Russian fighter boat. What are they called? What do they call them? They're not called fighter boats, are they? I'm going to call them fighter boats. That's what they should be called. Now they're claiming that all the things that the government said, our government, the UK government said about their situation and them and that couple being fired upon in their yacht 500 meters or so away from this boat, Russian Navy boat. So bad at this. They're saying that basically the government are towing the Russian line and Russian rhetoric on this, which is really interesting. Are they doing that because they don't want some kind of international incident? Or is there something else going on? It just seems a bit strange that, a few days after we had the the Royal Navy coming in and stopping that shadow fleet boat, oil tanker, and seizing it. All very spectacular, all very British, all very polite, you know. Yeah, so we seized that. So I'm wondering, you know, everyone's kind of wondering, is this a kind of just a bit of saber rattling going on, just a little bit? And the UK government just don't want, you know, the MOD just don't want anything sort of to upset things a little bit too much, maybe. Who knows? But it is interesting. The couple are rightly pissed off about it because of what the government said actually didn't happen. And there was no fog. They were fired upon, possibly, maybe. And yeah, pretty scary. You know, if you've got this bloody great naval boat bearing down on you, that really shouldn't be in the position it was in. Yeah, it must make you wonder. So those are my ramblings for today. We've got England playing Croatia tonight, so that'll be interesting. Are we going to win? Are we going to? I don't know. I know nothing about football, although oddly I have been watching quite a lot of football. So are we going to win? Are we going to push through? Are we going to get through? We're going to get 3 points. Hey, 3 points. Having seen France play last night, not a fucking chance. We've just no way. Just no way. I know I should be flag waving. Oh, UK, England. But having seen France play yesterday, the first half of France, I'm talking about France now, I don't know why. But anyway, they were a bit rubbish. And then they woke up and realised, oh, hold on, we need to score goals in this one, don't we? And they did, spectacularly. Of course, there's the usual hype and wonder as to what will happen with England. We've got a German manager, which is kind of oddly ironic, I find. Bizarre. But he's a really nice guy. Tammy Tuchel? Don't know, I can't remember. Much like everything else, I can't remember. And this is a political sort of news ramble sort of thing. Yeah, so good luck, England. I hope it goes well. I hope we do well. I really do. We're not going to win. We're just not going to win. But I hope we get through to sort of the final rounds. It's always fun. Always just that bit of belief. And we do need that. And one final thing, America did play oddly very well the other night. We've come accustomed as Europeans, as British people, that America are a bit shit at football. And I mean by football, I mean football, not soccer, football. Even I get irritated by that. Yeah, they play pretty well. So maybe they stand a bit of a chance as well. And maybe with all of that, they will then sort of launch more interest in football in the USA. And the other thing, just one final thing I need to get off my chest. This midway through each half of the drinkies, the got to have a sip of some Gatorade, some sugar-laden, chemical-ridden green juice. Has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with hydration. Nothing. It's everything to do with advertising, because the networks that are pushing it, that have it on their thing, are terrified by the fact of we've got 45 minutes of we can't pause it, we can't stop it, they can't stop. We can't have 45 minutes without adverts. We can't have 5 minutes without adverts. So it's unheard of for any American network to not have adverts within every sort of 10 minutes or so, if not more so. and then have around about 5 minutes of adverts. So this is why this is there. It's bullshit. Everyone knows this. It's a 10-minute stop or 5-minute stop so the networks can pommel you with adverts, but they don't pommel us with adverts. They pommel the US viewers with it. So that's why that's there. Anyway, that's enough for today, I think. I've rambled on too much. Probably need to edit this like crazy so it's not 15 years long. If you like what I've been rambling on about and you want to ramble with me in the comments, give it your best shot. Come on, get in the comments. Have a just vent. Get it out of there. Get it out of your system. Like and subscribe. See you next time.